Hello everybody and welcome back to Madden 2005, and we are here in a brand new season, year number 3. We've made it all the way through 2 seasons already, and we're finally getting into the third one, and we're starting off with a pretty fun opponent in the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now the Jaguars are fun because they've pretty much followed our same trajectory through the first 2 seasons of this sim. They finished, I think, about 8-8 in both years with us, or I think last year they did. The year before, I think they might have finished 7-9 because we beat them and made them 7-9 in the final week of the regular season. So the Jaguars have a solid roster, the same way that we do. They've been working and building towards getting into the postseason, haven't been able to get over that hump. I'm not entirely sure before the sim what the playoff timeline for the Jaguars was before this, so I'm not sure how many years they're looking out of the postseason, you know what I mean, removed from being in the playoffs. It might have been just the game before this one, I'm not entirely sure, but either way, they're still looking for a playoff berth in this sim, and we're looking to get back to the playoffs ourselves, and it all starts today with a Week 1 game. And we're actually getting some highlights here of a rookie, of the new rook, man. Shout out to the new rook, Wendell Miller, who on the depth chart is slated to be at the top for some reason of our defensive tackles, even though he's worse than the free agent that we signed in Rashad Moore, but either way, it's about a 4 overall difference. Can't be terrible to let the rookie get some reps in, so we'll allow it. And I think both of them will be on the field regardless. So, but the Jaguars have a great roster, as I've said. Funnily enough, they have Joey Harrington as their backup quarterback. Interesting. So in this game, the Lions also give up on Joey Harrington, and he ends up in Jacksonville behind Byron Leftwich. So, but Jacksonville's offense is getting off to a hot start here as Fred Taylor finds some open space and gets a first down, and then he gets tackled from behind. It was a nice acrobatic tackle from Robert Mathis, our right end, from behind to bring down Fred Taylor. So across midfield now, Byron Leftwich looking over his options and throws it to a very, very wide open Travion Smith, who is currently starting for the injured Will Witherspoon, because Will Witherspoon had a season-ending injury in the preseason, and now Travion Smith has a pick 6 to start his starting career in year number 3. So we take an early lead over Jacksonville, but the Jaguars are moving quickly on offense once again as Byron Leftwich hits Fred Oldham. I think Oldham is how you say his name, Oldham. But he's one of the rookies, I think. I think Jacksonville's completely rebuilt the receiving core through the draft, so there might be some names that you're not familiar with, but this guy right here, Fred Oldham, he is just catching everything for the Jaguars. He is just unstoppable right now. And this is a bit of a close call here. You look at the feet, look at the feet, look at the feet. Yeah, I don't know about that. A control with 2 feet in? I don't think so, but they're going to give it to him anyway. So 1st and 10, just outside of the red zone for the Jaguars. Byron Leftwich across the middle, and I believe, once again, it's Fred Oldham, and he's just kind of doing everything. Or actually, no, I think that was the tight end, Kyle Brady. I think he caught that. So either way, the Jaguars are moving on offense. And now handoff to Fred Taylor, and he's just barely going to fall forward. I think Derek Gibson bringing him down, but they're going to say that he was, the ball broke the plane at least, and that Jacksonville's going to have a touchdown finally, an answer back to us after our pick 6. So we'll get another look at this. Maybe it was a little bit short. I don't know. We could look at the knee. A couple close calls in that drive right there for Jacksonville, but they're going to get the point, so we'll move with it. And then Tim Couch also giving away some goodies here as he finds a Jacksonville defender downfield, trying to hit Jerry Porter on a deep pass, but instead it's going to set the Jaguars up some pretty prime field position across midfield. And now Byron Leftwich already seizing a nice opportunity here as he throws this one downfield, and he finds Clarence Skies, another young receiver on this Jaguars offense. So Jacksonville just outside of the red zone once again here. Byron Leftwich flips this one out in the flat, and I think it's Fred Oldham once again who hauls this one in for another first down. And now Jacksonville, actually that was the fullback that they hit, Mark Edwards. So when Jacksonville, they have a lot of stockier white dudes on this offense that I just keep getting confused with. Their tight end, Fred Oldham, is another stocky one, and then their fullback. I just keep getting thrown off. They got a lot of large white dudes on this team, that's for sure. But Byron Leftwich, you're trying to punch this one into the end zone. And in the corner of the end zone, he finally finds an open receiver, and that's going to be Reggie Williams, a bit of a more familiar name maybe on this Jaguars roster. But take a look at this, man. Another questionable thing here. Foley runs out of bounds and then comes back in and catches the pass. That's a penalty, right? Or am I crazy? Am I misremembering the rule? I don't know. But Jacksonville's really getting away with a lot right now. And so 14-7 is the score, and Jacksonville once again on offense here moving the ball pretty efficiently as Reggie Williams gets another completion across the middle of the field. And look at that, bro. Look at that blindside block. What are we doing here, ref? What are we doing? There's just nothing going on here in this Jacksonville game in the way of officiating. But on a 3rd and inches, they're going to try and run for the first down, and Travion Smith is able to lay down the lumber on Fred Taylor to keep him short of the marker. So as time is expiring, Jacksonville's going to bring out the kicking team, and that field goal is going to be good. So Jacksonville's going to take a 10-point lead as time expires here in the first quarter, 17-7. So we got to get a jump start here on offense. We've really been struggling to move the ball, but here in the second quarter, we're across midfield. So Tim Couch dropping back to pass here, throws it right across the middle, and it's Justin Gage, who hauls this one in here and is brought down right at about the 30-yard line of Jacksonville. So we're going to get an opportunity here on offense. So first and 10, we're going to hand this one to Justin Fargas, and Fargas breaks a tackle and a burst of speed into the secondary, and he's gone, man, into the end zone. That play was so quick, we didn't really have time to even register what the heck had just happened. So we'll get another angle at this, and look at that, breaks the one tackle, picks up a beautiful block, by the way. I think it was Justin, oh no, it wasn't Justin Gage. I'm not sure who laid down the block, but it was a good block, and Justin Fargas relying on the speed to get into the end zone. So now we're back to a 3-point game, but we are not done here in the first half, under 2 minutes, as Tim Couch finds Justin Gage downfield inside the red zone for a nice completion. And so now we are going to run the hurry up, run with some tempo here. 1st and 10 as time is ticking down. Tim Couch gets clobbered though after the snap. Looks like Jacksonville's fully ready for the tempo here in the hurry-up offense, and so we're going to have to come out on 2nd and 10 with a reshuffled deck of cards here, and Justin Fargas again breaking a tackle and getting into the end zone, man. Look at that speed, man. And Justin Fargas is up to an 83 overall now, so he is kind of improving and developing a little bit. This is exactly what I was kind of hoping for when we originally got rid of Tyrone Wheatley in year number 1. I was hoping that either Justin Fargas or Troy Hambrick would kind of step up and be that everyday back, and it looks like Justin Fargas right now in year number 3 is really staking his claim on that. So 21-17 is now the score, and Byron Leftwich, another interception, this time to the other side of the linebacking core, to Napoleon Harris, who's going to pick this one off here, positioned himself perfectly and relied on some momentum moving forward to completely get around the offensive line and get into the end zone. So 2 pick sixes now for the Jaguars in the first half, and that's not only going to give us the lead, those 2 pick sixes, but now we have a nice 11-point lead over the Jaguars. So And again, Jacksonville giving the ball up here late in the first half, and just under 20 seconds, we're still looking to maybe add some more points. And now this is going to be a completion from Tim Couch to Brian Lynch, our first-round pick from last season. He gets a completion in this game, so everyone's kind of touching the ball a little bit here. But with 9 seconds, we're going to keep the offense on the field. Tim Couch wants a shot towards the end zone, and it was a good chance for Justin Gage here, but Jacksonville played that one very, very well. I'm not sure what DB that was, but he plays this one very, very well, getting a hand on the football here, breaking up that pass and blanketing Justin Gage. We don't see a lot of DBs do that, especially last year. But Janikowski comes out for a long field goal here as time is expiring, and he nails it through. So 31-17, now the score here after one half of play, man. We roll up 31 points in the first half on the road, man. From coast to coast, we roll up 31 still. So we are not jet-lagged. We are not tired in the slightest. The offense is here to play. So with 31 in just 2 quarters, we can only imagine how many points we're going to end up finishing with. But Jacksonville also trying to answer back with some points of their own as they are now inside the red zone thanks to a completion to Kyle Brady, the tight end. So fast forward to a 3rd and inches. Jacksonville trying to at least pick up the first down. It's a handoff to Fred Taylor, who's got some open space, and he gets into the end zone for another Jaguar touchdown. So forget about the first down. They're going to get the touchdown. And Jacksonville finally answers back here on offense. And just like that, man, they're still kind of in it. The score looks a lot uglier. A 31-17 score looks a lot uglier, but it's only 14 points. So Jacksonville within 1 possession now, and on a short yardage situation, we're trying to pick up the rest here in our own end, but Justin Fargas gets more open space, and he's off to the races again. It's a foot race that he is going to win, and I don't know what on earth is happening, but Justin Fargas to that right side is just completely overpowered. There's just absolutely zero answer that Jacksonville has, and that was Morin Norris, our new fullback, who laid that block down in that replay, man. So good play by the new guy on the block, man. And Justin Fargas is really lighting things up on the ground. We haven't even seen a lot of the dazzling effects of our passing game that we're so used to in these games, but Jacksonville, their passing game is very much efficient, as they're going to get inside the 10-yard line as Byron Leftwich hits Kyle Brady once again. And whether it's Kyle Brady or Fred Oldham, Jacksonville's able to move the ball pretty efficiently. Now they're going to go with a pass up to Fred Taylor out of the backfield, and he catches this one and is brought down right at about the goal line, but it's goal to go. So that's going to end the third quarter. Jacksonville's going to have to make a decision in the fourth quarter. Probably going to go for it as they're down 14, but they're going to keep the offense here for third and goal. So Byron Leftwich is going to go with a handoff, and again we are all up in the backfield, man. Plenty of pressure in the backfield almost immediately. That was the rookie, and I believe Traven Smith, I believe, was also in the backfield on that tackle. So fourth and goal, Leftwich going to throw it across the middle, and it's Fred Oldham, the receiver, who finds himself wide open here. I don't know. We were really spaced out. Looks like we maybe tried to play some zone. I don't know. On fourth and goal, I don't know. But either way, Jacksonville answers back. So it's just a 7-point game once again. Tim Couch from our own end, deep shot downfield, and it's Justin Gage, leading a cavalry of Jaguar defenders who, of course, do not have the speed to catch up, because we've seen that play happen so many times, man. No matter who the offensive coordinator is, they seem to love this idea of just putting Justin Gage on a streak going down the field and just giving Tim Couch a chance here. Tim Couch has more than enough arm to lay that one out to Justin Gage, and now, man, we find ourselves once again in a multi-possession lead over the Jaguars here in Jacksonville, in pretty good shape. Tim Couch from close to midfield here bloops this one across the middle of the field, and I think that was Morin Norris, I believe, our new fullback. I think he caught that one, so everyone's kind of getting a little bit here, running and catching. So, but fast forward to a 3rd and 11, giving it off to Fargas, trying to get some yards back, and he's going absolutely nowhere as he gets his head nearly taken off, and now we're going to have to make a decision on 4th down. A 53-yarder for Sebastian Janikowski. I think his longest last year was 54, so he nails this one just barely. That one just scrapes by the crossbar, but it is going to be good, so we are going to extend now to a 17-point lead over Jacksonville now. So remember when it was 17-7 with us, and now here we are at 48-31, but Jacksonville's offense has yet to be fully silenced in this game as Fred Oldham gets another nice completion along the sideline for the Jaguars. So Byron Leftwich here in our end now lasers this one across the middle of the field, and it's Kyle Brady once again, who's also having a pretty efficient game for the Jaguars. If I'm a Jacksonville fan, I'm not feeling super worried about how this offense is operating. But on the 3rd down, the pressure finally gets home to Byron Leftwich. And that time it was Danny Clark getting in and laying down some lumber here, getting a nice tackle and blowing through Fred Taylor, man. Absolutely blew up that block by Fred Taylor. He had no chance. So on 4th and 6, out of desperation, Jacksonville's got to get the offense on the field. Byron Leftwich, a deep shot towards the end zone, and it looks like Fred Oldham maybe had a hand on it and maybe exchanged hands a bit. I don't know. It looks like he had a chance to catch it, but in double coverage, it's going to be pretty hard to come down with it. So that's a turnover on downs, and we're going to take over at about our own 25 or 26-yard line, and now Tim Couch, a quick pass release over to the right side of the field. I believe it was Chris Cole who came down with it, and that's going to get us a fresh set of downs close to midfield. So 1st and 10 from about the 47. Tim Couch dropping back again. Those are the same area on the field, and this time it's going to be Jerry Porter who gets brought down after making the catch right by the sidelines for another 1st down. So 1st and 10, we're moving bing, bang, boom very quickly. A handoff to Justin Fargas, has to redirect, runs right up the gut here, and there's no one left to stop him as he gets another long rushing touchdown, man. That's like his 3rd or 4th 20-plus yard rushing play in this game. We haven't seen that kind of production from Justin Fargas ever. Like, ever, man. This is an MVP caliber game, and we are seeing so much of him, of Mr. Number 20 here, and it almost makes you forget about guys like Justin Gage and Jerry Porter, who have led our offense so much in the previous season. Justin Gage completely erases any shadow of a doubt here. So you take off the 14 points that we get from the pick sixes, and we still managed to win this game by 10. So, I mean, that's a very solid, impressive offensive performance from your Raiders here, who go, again, coast to coast and really kind of show up in the rushing column. So this game, statistically, as you look on the screen, really kind of plays out like some of the other games we've played in the previous years, especially that Bills game from a couple seasons back, where we can outpass anybody. We'll have over 500 passing yards, but we can't run the football efficiently. But they can, so they end up winning. Well, we kind of flipped the script in this game. We ran the ball very well and passed it decently. We had over 400 passing yards, but running the ball was really the marquee thing. That was really where we were going. Or, excuse me, we had 300 passing yards, 400 yards of offense, or over 400 yards of offense, but Either way, Tim Couch has a decent game here. He does have the pick, which sucks, but 172 yards and 4 touchdowns for Justin Fargas. He has not had a game like that ever. That is a record-setting game for Justin Fargas. He will never do that again. But even Justin Gage, 160 yards himself and a touchdown. So we were completely feasting all over like we normally do, man. It was just a different kind of game. Our linebacking core, injured, really showed out today, man. Leading the team in tackles with a couple picks and stuff, and that's a great game. I can't be upset about it. So, but following that, we do lose to the Broncos in week number 2, and that's going to take us all the way to St. Louis in the Edward Jones Dome to play the St. Louis Rams, who won a single game last season. They've already matched their win total from last year, so they might be looking to beat that win total against us here as we are on the road. So I hope to see you guys in the Dome in St. Louis when we play the Rams in week number 3.